Yo, what's poppin'? Lord Wanker here, and today I wanted to dive back into emotional maturity and what it means to me, a different aspect today. Today's aspect, as I put it, is going to be like stay in your own lane. That's the way I put it, and the way I kind of see that is a metaphor. But if you are driving on the highway, right, and someone else is driving next to you and they're texting, and you get so worried about what they're doing, and you're so worried that they're, not doing what they're supposed to do and not keeping everyone safe, yada yada yada, that you eventually are doing the same thing that they're doing, by either trying to stop them, you're distracted driving by like trying to stop them, or making phone calls to report them, whatever, do whatever. Um, then you're not doing what you're supposed to do because you're so worried about what that person's doing. And if you were just not worried about what that person's doing, you wouldn't. In my opinion, you wouldn't have any problems. Now, I understand that this metaphor is like could be a real life situation, and yes, it is very dangerous, and I would never do it myself. But like I said, it's just a metaphor that if you want to be healthy and you want to live a more productive life, um, you need to just stay in your lane. Like worry about what you're doing. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. Stop worrying about other people. It's not that important to you. Make what you're doing important, whatever it is, big or small. Make what you're doing important. Don't make what other people are doing important. Because at the end of the day, what they're doing isn't helping you. Like it's not like only not keeping to yourself, but you know, making sure that your ducks are in a row are good. That's what's going to help you. That's what's going to help you succeed. And at the end of the day, everyone makes their own bed. Like if somebody's doing something that you don't agree with, they have to live with those choices. In the end, like no matter what, everyone has to live with their choices in the end. It doesn't change anything. Like good or bad, everyone lives with their own choices. It I don't know how else to put this, but like stay in your own lane. It's like not that hard. And to go a step further on that, if you're staying in your own lane and you're focusing on yourself, and you are with the understanding that everyone has to make their own choices, everyone makes has to live by those choices in the end, or deal with the consequences or benefits of their choices. However, I've noticed that most people don't question your choices if you seem to be making beneficial ones for yourself or for immediate people around you, and especially when it's a monetary value, people mostly won't question it unless it just seems super sketchy. Most people then will. However, my personal belief is that just because a monetary benefit of some choice seems like it's good doesn't necessarily always mean that, but that's a whole different topic. It's a lot about, you know, focusing on yourself, focusing on your inner self. That's what staying in your own lane to me means. If you stay in your own lane and you are forced to look at yourself and are forced to look at your own choices, then you might realize that you need to adjust some of your choices, especially if we're trying to uh, create a world that everyone prospers, everyone's happy. Everyone, I guess, essentially just gets along if you put it simply. I'd love to live in a world like that. People like to call it utopia, and that's what I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for a world where everyone can um, live happily together. But I also kind of think that, being able to stay in your lane and, i.e., make healthy choices in the end is a lot about, education. And I kind of wanted to touch a little bit on this, a little bit of a tangent, but I kind of want to talk about a little bit on like the pro-choice, pro-life thing. And I bring this up because I don't really think I would like to pick either. I if I had to, I'd say pro-choice, but I'd really rather pick pro-education. And I don't necessarily mean just, academic education. That is part of it. That's like, a mental education, expanding your mind and being able to open yourself to new ideas, but also like physical education, emotional education, and in the end, at the very last, a spiritual education. And that's a whole nother topic, spiritual education, because I personally don't believe that a lot of people understand properly how to reach a higher spiritual education. But like I said, that's an entirely different topic. But I also brought up the whole pro choice pro life thing because, like I said, it kind of tied in to a little bit. Like I said, I would choose pro education, um, healthy choices. And like I said, I talk about emotional maturity at the moment because I believe that is where humanity is at the current state. Like in order for our, I guess you say, our species to move forward, we need to focus on our emotional development, not necessarily the academic. However, that is also important. Like we live in a world where it's essential, and you also can't make smart choices though unless you're properly educated, which I believe would help a lot. I believe that would help a lot of situations, a lot of um, bad things you could say that might happen. I think could probably be avoided if people were more emotionally developed as well as mentally developed, because I think that we live in a society that is more mentally developed than they are emotionally developed, and I think that causes an imbalance between your body, your brain, your spirit, your inner self. Like it messes up the flow that goes on because there's that imbalance, and it's not following the correct process. It's not following the correct process, which I believe your emotional maturity should outweigh the mental progression. But like I said, that's not where we live right now. So it's a difficult thing that you have to do both at, and it's super difficult. Like I don't want anyone to think that like just by me saying this, I'm saying it and it's just like a magic, snap of the fingers and you're gonna understand. It's gonna be so easy. No, it's like it's so hard. Like the entire process is unbelievably hard, like unbelievably hard. But it's honestly like the process itself is a lesson of life to show you that life is never easy. Like successes in life are never easy, and if we're going for the ultimate success, like I said, of creating a utopia, uh, then we have to be able to follow the process. We have to be able to understand that it's going to be hard. It's hard. Like life is hard. You have to work hard. Like you want to make money, you have to work hard. Like regardless of what it is, if you're crunching numbers, if you're lifting heavy objects, like like a moving job or whatever, or you're doing some kind of trade job where you're always using your hands and your hands are like calluses, whatever, you know all of that stuff is hard. It's just hard in different aspects. But I would say 9 times out of 10, you talk to anybody who's super successful, they're going to tell you that it's hard work. It's hard work that gets you there. And that's what it's all about. Like that's what the process teaches you is that life is hard, but it helps you grow. And like I said, this started off about a lot with staying in your own lane, and that's just the topic I wanted to discuss at the moment because this entire thing is just so it's vast. It's hard to just explain it all in such a in just one sitting, which is why I've chosen to break it up into multiple multiple videos. But yeah, that's it for now. I hope y'all enjoyed the little talkie talk. Peace out, wankers. Have a great day.